This is Mayor Ron Anders with the Mayor's Minutes from our July 20th, 2021 Auburn City Council meeting. We began the meeting last night by turning the meeting over to Mayor Pro Tem Beth Whitten, and she led a discussion on the Green Space Advisory Board. The City Council decided to reappoint Mr. Art Chapelka to a full term, and then the City Council also approved James Brady for a full term on the Green Space Advisory Board. And we appreciate both of those men being willing to serve the City of Auburn on the Green Space Advisory Board. And I want to thank Sharon Nichols, who has served 2 full terms on the Green Space Advisory Board. The City Council also considered a Waterworks Board appointment, and Mayor Pro Tem Beth Whitten nominated Mr. Thomas Sparrow. The City Council were unanimous in appointing Thomas Sparrow to a full term that begins on August the 8th, 2021 and will continue through August the 7th, 2027. So that's a 6-year term. Thomas takes the place of Mr. Butch Brock, who has served a partial term and a full term, and we thank Butch for his efforts in supporting our Waterworks Board, and thank Thomas for being willing to serve. There was also a second round of discussion about Auburn High School parking that Councilman Stephen Dixon asked the City Council to consider. We opened this up 2 weeks ago and began the discussion. Over the last couple of weeks, the city staff has had a number of discussions with the school leadership. And at the end of our talk last night, the City Council decided not to take any action regarding this. We trust the Auburn City Schools, their leadership, their school board to make the best decisions on behalf of their students and their facilities and their campuses, and we'll continue to support them and assist them as school gets started here in the next month. As we went into the regular agenda last night, we were proud to recognize our Employees of the Month. Mr. Logan Kipp from the Planning Department was our Employee of the Month, and Logan's done a great job. Our Planning Department has not had a planning director here for a number of months, and Logan has really dug in and taken on some of the more significant projects within planning, and he was awarded our Auburn City of Auburn Employee of the Month. We also recognize Mike Weaver from Water Resource Management, Chris Griffin from Information Technology, Cammie Evans from Finance, and Joe Eckhart from Water Resource Management with service awards, and thank all of them for their great work over the years that stretch anywhere from 5 to 15 years. Thank you for working hard for the citizens of Auburn. East Alabama Medical Center came to our meeting last night and wanted to recognize the City of Auburn as well as the Chamber of Commerce for all of their support efforts during the recent vaccine clinic. We very much appreciate the recognition, and I once again want to thank everyone who pitched in to make that happen. There are a number of vendors in our community that stopped what they were doing to come and support the efforts of repurposing a retail building and making it into a vaccine clinic. There were great partnerships, whether it's with the City of Opelika, East Alabama Medical Center, all the nursing students that came from Tuskegee and Southern Union and Auburn University that delivered the vaccines, many departments here at the City of Auburn, with public safety really taking a lead. But many of our departments, almost all of our employees, participated in one way or another to volunteer and make the vaccine clinic happen. Auburn United Methodist Church, led by Mr. Joe Davis, we're in charge of recruiting volunteers throughout our community, and we counted over 1,200 volunteers in our community that came and participated. The City of Auburn has invested over $136,000 in the efforts to pay for this vaccine clinic, but we believe it was money well spent. So I want to thank all of the great employees of the City of Auburn that spent a number of hours working out there, that spent overtime hours working at the vaccine clinic, and everybody that came together to make this happen. And we were proud to receive the recognition from East Alabama Health on this great effort. And you should know as a citizen that when time calls for us to come together to make those things occur on behalf of our city and all the people that live here, that I hope you have confidence that we'll stop what we're doing and take care of business. And that's what we did. As we moved into the regular agenda last night, where the City Council approved a tax abatement with ID Plastics, they are moving into a larger facility, hiring 6 new employees and investing $765,000 into their plant. And we thank them. As we always say, we thank people, we thank our businesses, our industries who want to expand in our city. We thank them for coming to Auburn in the first place, and we certainly appreciate the fact that they want to expand what they're doing here in Auburn. City Council approved a contract with Axon Enterprise for an integrated camera system with our Public Safety Police Division. This is a 5-year contract that includes a lot of technology, equipment, and storage for our police department. It's $1.5 million, but I believe it is money well spent to give the latest technology and equipment to the people who are charged with protecting us each and every day. The City Council unanimously approved this. The City Council also unanimously approved a development agreement with Edgar Houston Builder and the City of Auburn for the Plainsman Lake subdivision. This was postponed 2 weeks ago from our July the 6th meeting so that the neighborhood, the Solomere neighborhood, could meet with the developer and meet with the city staff and understand all the dynamics of this development agreement. We appreciate everybody coming together. There's been a lot of work on this development agreement over time. There's some opportunities for the city that will receive an investment from Edgar Houston Building to help with some of our road work and entryways into some of these neighborhoods and the development of safer roads, ingress and egress in and around Highway 14, Martin Luther King Drive. Ultimately, the city will, in the near future, will initiate a project called the Richland Road Connector that will build a road that will go from Richland Road to Martin Luther King Drive, and it'll be an important artery for the citizens of North Auburn to be able to travel back and forth between those two roads. There's a lot of things going on there. We have a couple of elementary schools. We've got a tennis center. We've got potential for more schools and parks and rec facilities in these areas, and a number of houses that are being built, and so this road is important to the future of Auburn. This development will help us get there quicker. So after a long discussion last night, the City Council did approve this development agreement. All the details of that agreement are on the city's website. If you look under the City Council materials, you can read that development agreement. Also, the City Council approved a development agreement with Donahue Ridge, Phase 8. The City Council approved the sale of general obligation bonds for the construction of new elementary school and the renovations of the East Sanford School. The City Council also approved a contract with JLD Enterprises for the intersection improvements at North Donahue Drive and Shug Parkway. All the diagrams for that also are on our City Council materials, and I encourage you to go and look at those. If you have any questions on any of these items I just mentioned, don't hesitate to call the city office, or you can certainly call my office. Under ordinances last night, the City Council approved an annexation for Corey and Brenda Chandler. This was 1 acre, 1.03 acres, property located at 5092 Alabama Highway 147. City Council approved an annexation of 3.6 acres for James Michael Thompson Jr. at 1659 North Donahue Drive. And the City Council approved an annexation of almost 10 acres for EFA Company 3, the property located at the southern terminus of Cindy Lane. The City Council approved an amended PDD for the Clayton property groups. This is the property in the Woodward Oaks subdivision that is being built along North Donahue Drive and West Farmville Road. This will be a reduction of some single-family lots and the addition of cottage housing and townhome units, as well as a 20,000 square foot commercial space. Under resolutions last night, the City Council approved a conditional use. Parker Lewis was representing the Auburn Industrial Development Board as the expansion of the ACDI Business Center located at 1490 Pumphrey Avenue, and we're very excited about all the going-ons out there at the Auburn Center for Developing Industries, and I'm sure there'll be more information on that later. City Council approved a conditional use for the Auburn Industrial Development Board. It's a manufacturing use, property located at 2201 Riley Street. More information coming on that a little bit later as well. City Council approved an expansion of a commercial use for Sign World, the property located at 1715 Opelika Road. City Council also approved a conditional use for Performance Residential Townhome development at the Plainsman Lake subdivision that we mentioned earlier. This property is located on the northern side of Martin Luther King Drive. And related to the PDD amendment that the City Council approved earlier in the meeting, the City Council then approved a conditional use for the Woodward Oaks commercial building. I want to thank everybody with Lee County Habitat for Humanity. This past Saturday, there was a new home dedication in our community, and what a great organization Habitat for Humanity is. It was their 70th home dedication in Lee County, and we're already looking forward to house number 71 in the future. But what a great picture of many people from many different communities, faiths, neighborhoods, races that come together to help one family find secure housing. So thank you for all the people who participated in that. Thank you, Mark Grantham, for your support and leadership at Habitat for Humanity, and Karen Turner for your guidance on the board of Habitat for Humanity. I just thank everybody. It's a great, if you ever want to start your weekend in a good way, I encourage you to go to a Habitat dedication. They do a great job. I want to congratulate Reverend Muse at Ebenezer Baptist Church. He celebrated his 50th year. I was able to be a part of the celebration this past Sunday, and we appreciate all the love and care he has given to his flock in our community over 50 years. Cheers on the Corner is on July the 30th, Friday night, July the 30th. It will be a great time in downtown Auburn, and I ask you to consider making plans to join us in downtown Auburn a week from Friday night. I want to thank our Public Works Department for the recent neighborhood cleanup in the Annexations area. They fixed a lot of things, they improved a lot of things, they trimmed a lot of things, they cleaned a lot of things, and they picked up trash, and I just appreciate their great work and effort to make our neighborhood better. This past week we had our kickoff for Auburn 2040. I remind you that this is a citizen-led, staff-supported strategic plan for Auburn's future, and I appreciate everybody that took time here in the middle of the summer on a weeknight to come and join us for the kickoff. There was a lot of enthusiasm and excitement as the teams broke up and began to talk about how they want to work together over the next 3 months. I look forward to the great ideas and strategies that will come from Auburn 2040, and I appreciate all the support of our staff here at the City of Auburn for making that night happen and for allowing this effort to go on here in Auburn. Auburn 2040 is your plan for your future, and we encourage you to get involved. This is Mayor Ron Anders with the Mayor's Minutes from our July 20th, 2021 City Council meeting. Have a great week.